everybody. Today, I just wanted to tell you why I think sometimes maybe giving the reason or telling people why you are doing something or why you think something is a certain way could be detrimental, could actually play against you instead of for you or in your favor. And this is because I was talking with my boss, for example, and so there's a indecision about what to do in a particular situation, right? And I'm kind of impatient. I don't like to wait for people to tell me what to do. I just find a solution to a problem and we'll carry it out, right? So I'm that type of person. So what's happening here is that normally, when people tell me like just wait, or let me figure it out, and I already did something to fix the problem. Now I'm kind of looking at it from the perspective of I'm just going to let you know what I did, right? And then I was having one of those shower thoughts where I said, well, because this was all happening through text messages, where I said, well, maybe I should have explained my reasoning behind why I did what I did, why I did this the way I did it, right? But then immediately, like, that's when a light bulb lit up on top of my head, right? Like in the cartoons. And I was like, no, I think it's actually like just intuitively, I said, I think it's a good thing that I didn't explain why I did it. Now, I'm not saying that this could work in all of the situations, and I actually don't know if it's going to work because I haven't heard word back from my boss just yet. But I'm thinking that if I think if I would have told my boss, like, hey, I did it like this because of these reasons, like trying to justify myself, like trying to say, these are good reasons why I did it, like because this is more practical or whatever. And I'm a very practical person. I don't really like decorations or, you know, um, putting ornaments on things or editing, right? Like I like more unfiltered stuff, and I'm very unfiltered. So that doesn't mean I'm brass or I'm blunt. Like I'm orderly. I know where I have my ideas, and I know where I'm going to. I know what I'm trying to get at. So yeah, basically here, like I'm still waiting for the answer, and so I'm saying this could not work for all situations, but I'm trying this out right now. So what I think happens when you give a person a reason, right? When you tell the person like, hey, I did it like this because of this, many, like, three things could happen. One, the person likes the reason, right? The quality of your reasoning is superb, and they're gonna say, oh, that's a very good reason, right? Like, props, like, good thing you did that. Keep doing it, right? A second thing that could happen, which tends to be the case with me, because as I said, I'm very practical, and most people, especially like institutions, companies, businesses, they're all about appearance, right? So if they're like, hey, I know that that works, but it's not the way it should be done, right? So that's where I fight with people, like in the past, because of appearances, because I don't really care about appearances, but I'm just a regular ass employee, right? I'm not a boss or anything. So in those cases, the second thing that could happen is that they say, hey, no, you know what? Like I was kind of even thinking about it like from two perspectives, where they will immediately tell you, like, you give them the reasoning and they immediately tell you no, like no, just no, like change it. Or they just stay quiet, right? They're like, and then they're like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, and then they just throw away your idea completely, right? Because it may be practical, but it's a bad idea long term. It doesn't cover all the necessities of the company, whatever, right? um, so yeah, that could be the potential, that they could say, okay, good idea, yes, no, because that's a bad idea. Or the other thing that they could say is just simply like, yeah, whatever, right? Now, that's the one I'm counting on, and this would be in situations where maybe the person or the people that are in charge just kind of like don't really care, or they don't have that organization, right? So it's kind of like, yeah, like, whatever, just go ahead and do it. Now, that could be, in my case, when you don't give reasoning, because I think I feel like nowadays everybody's very contentious, everybody wants to fight, everybody loves to fight, right? So if you say something, the more you say, the more uh, like potential, or the more probability, the more likely you are that someone's going to say something against it, right? That someone's going to fight you, right? In our modern era. So um, that's why it's like, just state what you want to, just state how things are, but don't give a reason, right? And maybe I mean, of course, if the person asks you, like, you're going to have to give them a reason. But if you just state, like, okay, this is what I did, you know, I'm guessing that that person will more than likely, excuse me, just accept it and say, okay, continue doing it like that. You've already started, whatever, right? But if you tell them, I did it like this because of this, right? Like, because this is the correct way, it's like, I feel like you're almost challenging the person, right? Like, you know, I have a better reasoning than you will ever have, or I don't know. So it's like this big notion, or this big idea I have now with the why, right? Like, the why is very confrontational, because it speaks of, and I think either way, whether you're asking or answering, or like giving the reason or asking, like if someone tells you, like, okay, I wake up at 7 every morning and then I brush my teeth, and you're like, why? It's confrontational, and they're gonna be like, well, because I have to get to work on time, and I gotta take the bus. And it's like, why do you take the bus? Why don't you just buy a car? Or why don't you ride your bike and save the environment, or whatever, right? So the a why answer and a why question have an implicit subjective undertone, right? And that subjectivity, right, that lack of consensus, which is ultimately objectivity, is going is up for grabs, right? It's gonna be wrestled with. People are gonna debate it, so you get into a whole lot of mess with the why. And especially because it's different than all of the other WH questions, like who, what, when, where, right? Those are more concrete, like where, this city, right? What time, when, right? 1 p.m., whatever, right? Who, what, right? Which, right? They're more concrete. But why, or even how it's kind of like more objective, but why is really philosophical, right? Like reflexive, like, why do you do that, right? And it's like, well, you could think that the person does it for this, but in reality they do it for that, right? And that's where intent comes in, especially with like criminal acts, right? Like manslaughter, for example. Manslaughter is when someone accidentally kills someone, so they didn't have the intention. Like, why did you kill that person? Oh, because of an accident, right? Okay, so they're not gonna get that harsh of a punishment as someone that deliberately, consciously, reasons to kill someone. So let me know what you think. Do you think, when you give a why reason, or when you give a reason, people will tend to kind of fight you more than if you just state what and leave off the why? Maybe it's wiser to just not mention the why, even though you know why. So let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.